In 2010, it was revealed that a casting director for Peter Jackson's The Hobbit trilogy was fired for denying the role of a Hobbit extra to a woman with Pakistani ancestry. This was compounded upon by video evidence in which this director stated that she only wanted light-skinned hobbits. The responses to this news varied from those that agreed with the decision to fire the director, those that felt it was too little too late, and those who think that the director was a bold hero standing up against political correctness. Generally, those in favor of her firing believe that the descriptions of the Shire in the novels are not important when it comes to hiring actors, and those opposed believe that, as the Shire is similar to Oxford, and hobbits are described as white, that a lack of dark-skinned hobbits makes sense, just like there shouldn't be any hobbit in a wheelchair. Also, The Lord of the Rings is a story for medieval Europe, and all of the extras should be white. Here's the problem with that. Not all hobbits are white. In Concerning Hobbits, the first chapter of The Lord of the Rings, which I'm sure all of these people have read if they are willing to argue that the books are what informed their opinions on casting, we are introduced to three different groups of hobbits, described as breeds that were acknowledged before their crossing of the mountains of Eriador. These three groups are the Harfoots, the Stoors, and the Fallowhides. Fallowhides, like the Tooks, are indeed described as fairer of skin and of hair, implying that they were what would be considered today white. Stoors, like Smeagol's people, aren't described in terms of skin color, so if you feel like you have to pin it down, you can choose whatever you want. However, Harfoots, which are the most numerous group of hobbits, and the ones that are most associated with living in tunnels, like in the Shire, are described as browner of skin. This condition of being browner cannot be said to have been brought on by Harfoots happening to spend more time in the sun, as the condition is inherent to a people group established before the settling of the Shire. Furthermore, one of, if not the most important, named hobbits is described similarly. Samwise Gamgee is described as having brown hands in both Two Towers and The Return of the King. To get this out of the way, I don't believe that these are tanned, as Frodo has spent as much time in the sun as Sam has for the last year, and is described as having a white forehead in the same sentence in Two Towers. Also, the term brown hand is also used to describe one of the Haradrim soldiers, by Sam himself. If Sam is white but tanned, then so are the Haradrim, who should promptly not be coded as African or Indian. Still, you might say, how do we know that these hobbits with inherently dark skin that is passed down through generations, regardless of environment, weren't more along the lines of a dark-skinned Italian? Well, as they clearly are not literally Italian, as there is no Italy in Middle-earth, why shouldn't someone of Pakistani descent play a hobbit? If the minimum requirement is having darker skin than Martin Freeman, why not have anyone with a darker skin tone play the role? Hopefully I was able to provide a different perspective. Thank you very much. Postscript. Ignoring that Tolkien hated allegory, and the Shire is not literally Oxford, while I don't know about Pakistani people, I do know that black people have been at Oxford to study and be made members since the 1970s, 20 years before Tolkien was even born. Postscript. As for the no wheelchairs arguments, not only was there an extra in The Hobbit that used a wheelchair, there is a character in the Shire named Lalia Clayhanger that appears in the appendices that uses one as well.